Hello, everybody. So let's try this out. We're going to try this today. What I wanted to show you guys is that there are 4 different problems here. Okay, so I want you to try to attempt to do all of these problems on your own first. Okay, so hopefully you paused and you came back. If you have not paused yet, make sure you pause and then come back. Okay. So the first one says graph x is less than or equal to 9. So because of that, I already know that it's going to be a closed dot. It's going to be a closed dot because it says x is less than or equal to 9. Now then I also look and I go, okay, it looks like it's going to shade to the left. And I'm done. That's it. X is less than or equal to 9. On this next one, it says, what inequality is shown graphed below? So you would put x and -3 because your dot is at -3. It is shaded to the left, so it's going to be less than. But it's also a closed dot, which means that it has to be equal to -3 as well. This next one says, is m equals -4 a solution? So you would plug in -3 times a -4 minus 5. And you would actually do this out and see if you get something less than or equal to 10. So negative times a negative is a positive. So this would be 3 times 4 is 12. I'm going to keep rewriting. 12 minus 5 is 7. Is 7 less than or equal to 10? Yes. So is this an inequality? Yes, it is. True, yes, whatever you wrote down works, as long as you put true or yes. This next one says, write an inequality statement for this phrase. X has a minimum of 5. Well, minimum of 5. So that's one of those key words. Hopefully you remember from when we did our vocabulary. Okay, a minimum of 5. A minimum of 5. Hopefully you remember that that means that the smallest number is going to be 5, which means x has to be greater than 5. So a minimum of 5. So like at a table, if I said I need a minimum of 5 students at this table, that means I need 5 or greater. So x is greater than or equal to 5. Okay, so today is all about solving inequalities, okay? If this looks really stressful, don't worry for right now, okay? So first things first, we're given an inequality. We are given an inequality. The model. So I want you to see that these long blocks are going to be equal to x, okay? If you have another one, typically if they're shaded in, that's a negative. Typically this one means +1. That might mean -1. But there's usually a key that tells you what's going on. So I'm going to tell you this is a +4. And then it says that it's greater than, and then 8. So that's what we say when we are modeling it. So then it says, hey, let's solve this. So if you look, it says x plus 4 is greater than 8. If you remember, we do the inverse operation, which would be to subtract 4 because we're trying to get x by itself. Cancel out. So then x is going to be greater than 4 because 8 minus 4 is 4. And then we do our graph. We know that it's an open dot at 4, and it's going to be greater than. So then in the second one, this is where it's going to get tricky, so please pay attention. It says -3x is greater than or equal to 15. Okay, so if you notice, it does have a negative. So this is a negative x, a negative x, a negative x. And there's 3 of them. So 3, -3x. And then it's a +15. Okay, so that's not what I'm worried about. What I need you guys to see down here. Normally, when we were solving equations, it's the same thing. We're trying to get x by itself, so we need to do the inverse operation of multiplication, which is division. So we would divide by -3, divide by -3. But when you're dealing with inequalities, when you, right here, it says it right here, when you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to flip the inequality sign. It's going to turn around. Okay, so if you notice, it has to flip because we multiplied by a negative, which means that we divided by that negative. So it has to flip the inequality sign. So be really, really careful. Let's do some more practice. Okay, we're gonna do a lot of work. We're gonna do 3 word problems right now. Okay, so it says Scarlett bought a bag of soil for some new plants. She divided it evenly into 5 clay pots. Okay, first of all, hold on. We don't know what the bag was. So X, she divided it evenly into 5 pots. So she divided it by 5, because that's what it says. And more than 6 in each pot. So it's going to be greater than 6, because that's what it says. More than 6 tells us that it's greater than. And so then it says, let X represent how many quarts of soil were in the bag in the first place. Write an inequality to represent this problem. Okay, so now we have X. So this whole thing is X. But we need to divide it by 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is X divided by 5 right here. Has to be greater than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's solve this out. So X divided by 5 has to be greater than 6. Well, this is division, so the inverse would be to multiply. So we need to multiply both sides by 5. We need to, oh no! Let's try again, sorry. So we had X divided by 5 has to be greater than 6. We drew our picture. So X divided by 5 is greater than 6. We have to multiply by 5. Multiply by 5. This cancels out, so we're left with X is greater than 6 times 5, which is 30. So I'm going to draw my picture. Here's 30. I can put 30 wherever I want when I'm drawing my own graph. So X has to be greater than 30, so I know it's going to go this way. And it's going to be an open dot because it can't equal 30. Okay, so the next one says, an airport has enough space for 16 planes to park. There are 9 planes parked at the airport right now. So let X represent how many more planes can park. Well, okay, so can I have more than 16 planes park? No. Okay, so it has to either be equal to 16 or less than 16. Because I only have 16 planes to park. I can't park anymore. So we know there's 9 plus some more planes. I don't know how many planes there are, but that's what we're going to find out. How many more planes can I have? So this would be X plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is less than or equal to 1, 2, 3. Oh no. This is not going to be pretty. 4. That's 8. You guys are so patient while I draw these really ugly looking circles. I am not Miss Louise. My circles are not very pretty. Okay, so there's X plus 9 is less than or equal to 16. So now if I'm actually solving this out, the inverse of addition is subtraction. So I'm going to subtract 9. And I end up with X is less than or equal to 16 minus 9, which is 7. Once again, I can do my graph however I want. I'm going to put 7 in the middle. It's going to be shaded to the left because X has to be less than 7 or equal to 7. So it's going to be a closed dot. Okay, so our last question says Erin is going to knit scarves in different colors to sell and give as gifts. She's so sweet. She plans to give away 3 scarves. Okay, wait. If she's giving away scarves, so she's going to make some scarves to give away. She's going to give away 3, which means minus 3. Afterwards, Erin wants to have at least 8 scarves left. If you remember, at least means greater than or equal to. Okay? Greater than or equal to. So she wants to have at least 8. So she wants to have either 8 or more than 8 left, because she's going to try to sell them at her shop. So I have X, and I'm going to take away 3. So actually, those are going to be negative. So I'm going to show that with a line as negative. Greater than or equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How beautiful. That's 8. The solution, so X minus 3. So if you remember, the inverse of subtraction is addition. So that means we're going to add 3 to both sides. Add 3 to both sides. I'm sorry, it's glitchy. And so that cancels out. X is going to be greater than or equal to 8 plus 3, which is 11. And then, of course, my graph, remember, I'm going to put 11 wherever I want, because I do what I want right now. So 11, we know that it's going to be greater than 11. And it is a closed dot because she could have 11. She could have started with 11 and give away 3. Because she wants to have at least 8 scarves left. So 11 minus 3 would get me 8. So she would have 8. Or she could have more than that left. Okay. Now, here's the other thing that I wanted to mention. Your IXL codes for this week. So if you remember, you were supposed to do 4 codes this week. CXX, N99, N2A, and TFK for a grade. Okay. So you did 2 last class. So the 2 new ones are N2A and TFK. Please make sure that you have a 70 or above. So, or at least a 70. A minimum of 70. Right? Those are those keywords there. No smaller than 70. Okay? A minimum of 70 or at least 70. So you have to have 70 or above on each of those 4. If you do that, then you will have 100 for this week. So please do not make the mistake of not doing these, okay? Thank you guys so much. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. You guys are awesome.